Hi, I'm Marianne Kitten. Welcome to the whole Kitten Caboodle. This week I'll be telling you all about our plans starting Wednesday to leave from Portland Union Station, taking the Coast Starlight all the way down to Los Angeles. We're going to be celebrating our 27th wedding anniversary in Los Angeles. We're only staying 2 nights, so it's just going to be a one-day trip, and then we'll be taking the Coast Starlight back again. Amtrak offered a buy one get one free ticket, so I got one of the Roomettes, and I know that's not the most comfortable way you can go, but it's exciting and fun for me. We've been on the Empire Builder before. We took the Empire Builder from Portland to West Glacier, where we hiked to Glacier National Park and stayed for, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, and then hiked back to West Glacier and went back to Portland from there, which was really cool. I enjoy the train. It's just a totally different way to travel. It's not a quick way to travel. It's a very, very slow way to travel, but you know, slow travel's totally in these days, so I fit right in. Anyway, so they offered the buy one, get one free. I got the tickets. We're leaving on Wednesday. So this trip is going to be super exciting for us, and I'll share a walking tour of Los Angeles from the perspective of the first-time visitor in downtown Los Angeles. We have lots of fun things planned, and I can tell you about them after we get back. While we're talking about trains, I thought it would be fun to let you know about my next train adventure. I'm going to be taking this one on my own. My husband really doesn't think he can sleep in coach. That's why we are taking the Roomette down to Los Angeles. I have purchased a USA Railpass. They had it on sale for $250, which I just couldn't pass up. And they're calling it celebrating the 250th anniversary of the United States. Isn't that the neatest way to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States? I'm taking 10 segments. I've purchased all of my tickets already because I wanted to make sure that I didn't have any trouble getting the trains that I wanted. I'll share with you what my schedule is, which I think is totally cool. So I'll be leaving Portland in April and going on the Empire Builder. It takes 2 nights to go on the Empire Builder, heading for Chicago. In Chicago, I'll arrive at 4:45 and I will spend 2 nights there. And I'm really excited about the idea of riding the ferries. I'm not sure the ferries will be running yet that early, so wish me luck. I'm sure I'll find plenty to do whether the ferries are running or not. And then after Chicago, I will be heading on the Southwest Chief for 2 nights to Los Angeles, California, which will be interesting because I've just taken this trip to Los Angeles, but I'll know what I'm doing and I can maybe do some different things this time. I might have my son come out and visit me. So the next leg of my trip will be Los Angeles to New Orleans on the Sunset Limited. I'll be heading out at 10 o'clock at night, so that'll be fun. Heading to New Orleans, 2 nights on the train, and getting there at 9:40 in the evening. I have 2 nights scheduled there at a hotel, and I happen to be there during the New Orleans Jazz Festival, so it's super crowded, and hopefully it'll be super fun. The next leg is from New Orleans to New York, and it's not even overnight. It leaves at 9:10 in the morning and gets to New York City at 6:42 in the evening. I have a fun place to stay when I'm there. I'm trying out Pod 51, so wish me luck with that. In New York, I don't have a lot of time because, well, I'm being cheap on this trip and I didn't want to spend a whole lot of nights in New York. We'll do this again with my husband and make it a kind of a less cheapskate sort of trip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ferries around and see all the views and maybe go to Governor's Island and see the views of Manhattan from Governor's Island and maybe the Staten Island ferry so I can see up close the Statue of Liberty. We'll see how it works out. I'm getting most of my information off the internet and I don't know for sure how it'll be, but I'll let you know. I'm leaving New York the next day at 3:40 p.m. so I'll be able to spend some morning time and afternoon in New York, and I'm really excited about the Metropolitan Lounge. I think I'll probably buy a lounge pass and hang out there for at least a couple of hours to enjoy just the building because it's a beautiful building. When I leave New York, I'll be taking the Lakeshore Limited. It leaves at 3:40 p.m. and gets to Chicago at 10:12. So it's overnight, but it's not a super long train ride. And then I made my first questionable decision. I get into Chicago at 10:12 and I leave Chicago at 2 p.m. So if the Lakeshore Limited is running late, I may have trouble with that connection. And also, will I ever get a shower? That's a good question. I definitely plan to get a lounge pass for the Chicago Metropolitan Station. I'll have already been in Chicago for 2 days. I'll have already seen a lot of stuff in Chicago, and I only have a few hours. So I'll get a lounge pass, take a shower, enjoy the Union Station there. And then hopefully, if I'm on time and I get on my train, I'll be leaving Chicago by way of the California Zephyr. That's another 2-night trip, and it's heading to Emeryville, California. My plan is to either take public transportation or a ferry headed to San Francisco. I've got a hotel planned there for 2 nights, and my daughter and son-in-law are going to meet me. They're flying down, which is going to be a lot easier trip for them, but we'll do some San Francisco things. I only have 1 full day there, and mostly my trips are just to see the buildings. I really like architecture, and I love the ferry rides, so that's kind of my plan. Then my daughter and I will head back to Emeryville the next morning and catch the Coast Starlight. It's not nearly the beginning of the Coast Starlight, but I believe it's the beginning of the prettiest part of the Coast Starlight. It starts at 8:39 in the morning and then gets to Los Angeles at 9:11 in the evening. And I believe the entire trip is right along the coastline, so I'm hoping it'll be super pretty. That's one of the reasons I'm dragging my daughter with me, is just to see the views of the coastline on the Coast Starlight. We're staying at the Biltmore for 1 night. This weekend, my plan is to get a really good tour of the Biltmore and see it for myself, but I thought it would be fun to stay there 1 night. And then I am catching the Coast Starlight again the next morning at 9:51 and heading back up to Portland, where I will stay for 3 nights. So that's going to be my cheapest overnight, is Portland, because I get to stay at my own home. I cannot believe how expensive it is to stay in these big cities. So the next time we take one of these trips, I think that what we'll do is buy segments instead of these entire trips from big city to big city, and we'll get off and spend time in small town America, which hopefully will be a little less expensive than this trip. So after I stay in Portland for 3 nights, I actually get back on the Empire Builder and head for Whitefish, Montana, which I've been through once because we went to Glacier, West Glacier, and we got off for an air break at Whitefish, Montana. Whitefish is a good place to stay for your home base if you don't want to be camping at Glacier. So we're going to be staying at the lodge at Whitefish Lake. And I convinced my husband, even though he's not interested in overnight coach, he's going to try it with me. So he and I are both going to be going from Portland to Whitefish and back, both on the Empire Building. So that's my plans. I'm really excited about it. And my plan is to take lots of videos and show you the Manhattan skyline and show you these ferries and see if any of it's interesting to you. I've been spending some time just doing quiet walking tours. So if quiet walking tours are what you're interested in, leave a comment and I'll make sure that I do those as well. I want to give you information on these trips, but I don't really want to see myself, and I don't really think you want to see me. I'm really excited to get to see all of America. I lived in Texas forever, and I kind of know Texas. I've traveled there a lot, and I've lived in Portland, the Portland area, for quite a while, and I've done most of the visitor things here. My daughter's moved to Seattle, and so I've got to do a lot of Seattle things, and that's great. But as far as Chicago, the Midwest, the East Coast, New York, Boston, I've never been to those places. So after this trip, I'll figure out where I want to go in between all these big cities. And my husband and I definitely have plans to go to Boston. I'm excited about Boston. And we're also kind of interested in cruising. So my understanding is cruising from Miami is super great, and there's lots of cruising from New York. And I also have plans to take our trailer through the real, America in the national parks and the towns that you don't even see from the train. The train is exciting because you don't see those things from a car ride or from an airplane, and the camping in the national parks is exciting because it's nature and it's the areas that you never get to see. So I'll be really happy to take you along with me, and I hope you enjoyed these vacations that I have planned this summer. We're planning to go to Antarctica, of all places, after my husband retires, so I'll take you with me there. We're actually going to be doing excursions and setting foot on the continent, so I hope that's worth it. And then of course, if we're down there, we'll be in Buenos Aires, so it's not super close, but we're going to go to Peru and do some Peru things, and I think maybe spend Christmas this year in Merida, Mexico. So join me for all those trips, and I hope you enjoy being part of the whole kit and caboodle. Thank you.